Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. We are back. Today's Sunday, and we are looking at DXY on a daily time frame right now. Today, when markets open, we closed on the week with a little bit of bearish divergence, bearish momentum being played out. We are going to see today how CME opens. If the fear and panic of the banking crisis contagion is spreading, more than likely we might see a flight of safety. So people getting out of their stocks, bank equities, whatever, and then trying to get into safety assets like gold, dollar, and we will see if a Bitcoin will hold that thesis for um, people going into that currency over the traditional monetary system that we are already in. So this is the opportunity for Bitcoin to get some adoption long term from people who just feel wronged out of the banking, system. So what I'm looking for is Dixie to open up, close above 103 today. If we can hold this level and close above it, we can look for some upside into the next week. This consolidation that we fought around on the 200 EMA, we did not close above it on the weekly, but around it is good enough. I would like to get above it and close above it for continuation. If we flirt around too much on this level under 104 this next week, we can look for us to lose into the next level over here at 102, and that will give us some upside on crypto and equities. And then over here, we can swoop back up. Keep in mind that this week is the Fed interest rate meeting. There are going to be people talking all day about no meeting, 0.25 or zero point 0.5. Due to the fact that Europe did 0.5, if the US does not do 0.5, I would assume that that is weakness in our economy, because of the fact that we already did TARP overnight for these banks to backstop them and gave them about 50% of the money that we used to tighten. Banks took that money and they freaking probably rebought their shares. And then you saw Friday, the shares were still down 30%. So obviously, giving them endless money didn't solve the problem. And then what happened was their equity of that company is tanking. That's going to spread to other assets and other banks. And the worst case scenario is going to be basically that people won't know what to do, where to go with their money. The people who are in middle to lower class will suffer the most. The people who are in upper class will probably suffer, but what they will do to hurt everyone else is downsize. They will stop their spending. If they own businesses, they'll pause hiring. They won't invest more money into their business to basically make the economy turn. So that will affect us in the long run. So just keep all that in mind. Looking for sideways and up. If we get downside, it's an opportunity for you to get out of your equities and crypto at a higher level due to the fact that more than likely we're going to do a little bit of downside. So with that said, let's go look at Bitcoin on a daily. And we'll look at perps because I don't want to look at CME since it's not open. But what I will point out is that CME closed at 27,000 on Bitcoin. We're at 27.2. ETH closed at 1753. We're at 1783. So a little bit of reversion to the mean to the downside, but we're not that far off from where CME closed. So that's a good thing. Okay. Let me turn off my drawings. Let's go to Bitcoin on a daily time frame. And then let me go over what I'm looking at. Now, EMA wise on a daily, we've met all our targets. To come back off of these highs would not be insane. I'm not looking for us to go take liquidity, but a pullback to maybe 26.5 to 25 is reasonable for other people to get shaken out of over leveraged longs, and then other people getting to DCA into the long for the next pump up if we get it. Rejecting out of this level and starting to close dailies under 26.5 is a warning for that level to come over here at 25. Opening and closing under 25 is risk for us to go test into 21, 22, 5, etc. You don't want to not hold 26,000. Losing 26,000 is your warning sign for downside. Okay, 26.3, red flag, red flag, red flag. Watch out for a quick flush to the downside kind of situation. If we can hold above 26.5 and we start closing daily candles above 27, more than likely we're going to go to our next target around 35,000, 37,000. And that's something that is going to probably come really quickly right after that psychological 30K break. And that's probably what we're going to be seeing this week come up. We probably will be testing into 27.8, which is the bottom of this order block, into the top of the order block, which is around 32.5, and then we could get those higher targets. So I would probably put like a midline around 30,000, 30,300. That level, as soon as we get it, might give you a push back. Then we'll find support around 27, 26.5, and then we'll probably bust up into, we'll probably break right to that 32.5 and then go to 35 to 36. So level by level, and get the in your head, like, we'll pop up, we'll pull back down, then we'll pop up, like consolidation. Okay, don't just think we're just gonna fly on up there. It doesn't work like that. It could happen though, because all these shorts will get liquidated on the way up if their stop is still there and they didn't remove it. They're gonna be food. So they do have to be cautious and careful. On a 4-hour time frame, you can see we have bearish volume divergence as we're coming into the top and finding resistance. Not what you want to see. You want to see volume actually picking up. That's basically showing that the buying is slowing down, and then whoever is trying to fill a short is probably doing it successfully under the guise of buys coming in. And you probably would see absorption over here if you were to look at EXO and stuff. Don't think there's going to be many trap longs here until we actually poke above 27,800, and then we can do a flush back down. Poke into 28K, take some liquidity out of all the stops, and then flush on down to like 23.5 to basically hurt all the over leveraged longs as well, and then consolidate sideways before you try it again for one side or the other. That probably makes the most logical sense on Bitcoin. I don't think we need to worry about going too much lower than 25K, and I don't think we need to hold our breath for 28K. More than likely, that is going to come at CME Open if everything looks good for markets on Monday, as in like no crazy news coming out that, yeah, banks are going to get handed, the stick on Monday. As long as we're not going to get a beating with the banks, the rest of the market should be able to continue. But when the banks suffer, means no loans, no business SBA loans, no mortgages. Probably not going to be paying credit cards and stuff like that because we're all trying to survive. It's just like not the right time for stuff like this to be occurring. But hey, it's an opportunity for traders, so use it to your advantage. I already gave you the 4-hour spiel, so let's go to the daily on ETH. And ETH, I lost a little bit of money on ETH yesterday. It wasn't like woohoo. What I did was I accidentally market bought, and I bought like a large amount, so I paid a fee. That just irks the shit out of me more than anything. Um, I shorted. I shorted 1794 in this morning. I did have this short 18 whatever. It was at 1820 something, and I took my short at 1740 out, and I took a long. It was like 1770-ish. I took a long. I got out of it in the morning at 1790-ish, and then I took a short again at 1785-ish or 83. And I'm just waiting to see, are we going to break down here? Now, one thing that I can give you as like a clue, Bitcoin is already above here, right? And we've been kind of been dragged up with Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin is getting a lot of love right now because Bitcoin's purpose is to basically be the new monetary system, especially when banks fail. And like this is what Satoshi brought out Bitcoin in '08 to '09 is because of the European banking failure that occurred. Now this is like another reason why like the use case of Bitcoin is not just storage of wealth and peer-to-peer transfer. It's basically supposed to be money. So as Bitcoin gets its popularity from people around the world that are just sick and tired of banks doing their bullshit and the Fed messing up, they are probably getting into Bitcoin, and ETH is getting a little bit of the ride along with Bitcoin because the market caps are, pegged together. And then ETH is going to be doing its Shanghai upgrade very, very soon. So anyone who wanted to get into ETH as like a secondary investment to Bitcoin thesis, I mean, this is probably the best time to get into that kind of stuff. So I'm looking for this weakness here to show. I do have a little bit of a short. If we get a drop to around 1670-ish or 1660, I will be looking for a long scalp for us to hedge that short. And then if we break out of 1850, 1860, I am looking for around 2000. First 2050-ish, and then I'm looking for 2300 as like the natural target for us to get to after this little consolidation we're in. Yeah, maybe even like first 20,000, 2000-ish and like 20, and then probably the top around like 2150 and then 22, 23. It's gonna be quick basically. This gap here, I won't even want to like play around in the gap. I want to be either long from here or short from here. I don't really care about this middle air bullshit, okay? Because usually when EMAs converge like this and they squeeze, 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 we get a pop. It's going to pop out so hard and fast that if you try to short here or here or here, you're going to basically get liquidated on the impulse up. And then anyone who's trying to long it between this and this, if they longing it and they're not moving a stop in profit, when you flash down for the correction before you break out higher, they're gonna get liquidated. So liquidations on the way up, liquidations on the way down, chop, 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 consolidation, maybe like a forming like a triangle or an ascending channel, and then a breakout occurring. Need to show lower highs. This was not higher lows. This was tricking everyone for downside, but it was an expanding wedge. If you guys even remember, I had it drawn. This was an expanding wedge. And on the bottom of the wedge, we were trying to take longs, and on the top, we were supposed to close and short. So, I mean, that's why I'm short here, and I longed a little bit over here back earlier, because when we broke down and we reclaimed the 21 EMA, I was like, all right, let's break up at least the top. So, logically, it makes sense what I was doing. So right now, I got that short. I'm gonna let that short sit until the daily close, because if we don't close above this level here, I'll be looking for us to trickle down, and then Bitcoin might be the first one to show us weakness, and I'll watch ETH follow along. So if Bitcoin shows weakness first, I'll add into my short on ETH, hoping it gets dragged down with Bitcoin, and it will be a laggard. So if Bitcoin really starts tanking, I'll be able to like get a more of money in ETH just by following Bitcoin's dump first, kind of like that. So yeah, I mean that's the plan that I have going on right now on a 4 hour time frame. I was looking for a little bit of downside because we had volume divergence also, as well as bear divs building. So volume was coming down to an end as we were coming into the top resistance. We just took out this high too, so it kind of is like the perfect time to short because you just took the liquidity from the previous high. Now, if you want to sweep some liquidity from over leverage long and go into like 1670 to like 1650, it makes sense. Not saying it's going to happen, but if we start closing 4 hour candles under 1745, you should be ready for us to test into that 1660, 1670 area. And then if we get a 4 hour open and close above 1800, you can look for us to test into 1850 and beyond. And that basically means that we will be creating a secondary CME gap. Most of the time, 2, 3 gaps, and we're gonna fill. So my thinking is that whatever happens today, if we have the gap or not, it's not gonna fill today. I'm expecting it to fill into the market tomorrow. So meaning I will see US markets open, we might pump into open, and then I will see the reversal of the dump after US euphoria is done and over. As everyone is coming into the trading markets, if they're all buying at open, we're going to basically shave all of that off after. So that's my thesis moving forward, guys. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please leave in the comment section below. If you could, please leave a like, subscribe, press the bell button for notifications so other people get these videos as soon as this drops so they can use it to their trading advantage. If you guys are interested in trading with me live, please feel free to join me on my Discord server. The link to the Discord server is in the description of this video below, alongside with all the other affiliate services that I recommend and use myself. Aside from that, guys, I hope you have a great day. Be safe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, press the bell button for notifications, and leave me a comment below telling me how your weekend went. Were you profitable this week, or did somebody else take your lunch money? And then if so, what are we going to do next week to make sure it doesn't happen again? What lesson did we learn this week? Let me know below. Thank you so much, guys. Be safe. Talk to you soon.